I'm going to bring on our featured guest, Dr. Diana Hoppe. It's all about talking about the growing field of health coaching and providing these alluring opportunities for job hunters, flexible schedules, and an increased demand. She has she's a founder of the amazing Over 40 Inc. I'm going to bring her on now. Dr. Diana, how you doing?
Good. How you doing, Ted?
Pretty good, pretty good. Thanks so much for taking a few minutes out. And thanks for being patient as I rambled through the people that we had to thank for airing this podcast.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure I was on the right. No, we're being very grateful. Gratitude is always a good thing. Believe me, gratitude is always a good thing.
It is. Dr. Diana, it's a new year. It's 2016. You know, you got so many different people that are burning through their resolutions that they set up just prior, you know, at the close of 2015. And one of the things I wanted to do was take the time out each and every week and thank all the people that air the podcast, that re-air it on their internet stations. And I have to take that time out. So know you were listening to the right station, and I'm so glad that you held on.
Yeah, no, it's all good. And I actually appreciate you talking about your friend who is taking a health coaching class or doing some type of certification, because a lot of people are very interested in this topic, and I know that's why you kind of wanted to go over this tonight so that your listeners could learn a lot more about the whole field of health coaching.
I definitely wanted to learn so much about it because, I've been reading about it for the last, I would say, couple of months, and to hear that it's a $2 billion industry now.
Yeah, and that was in 2012. Those are the numbers from 2012, and
oh my.
We know that it's increased by 38% in the last few years. So if we do like another third of that, I mean, basically you can say it's at least a $3 billion industry.
Oh my. So as I say with all of our lead guests, I'm going to decrease so that you can increase and just make us smart on the world of health coaching. And I mean, your credentials, I mean, they go on for pages. I was printing, and I was like, okay, when are they going to stop? She's an author. She's this. She's a medical doctor. You know, tell us, it's like you said, it is the new year, and it's something, if someone wanted to get into this field, give us kind of like the steps on what to do.
Right. Let me first start with just saying that I'm an OBGYN, so I do a lot of women's health, but coaching program is not just for women, it's for men too.
Wonderful.
And basically the whole reason I developed this program was because I saw the need for people, specifically now, let's say 2016, to really have like a guide, a mentor, a counselor that's going to help them achieve their resolutions or their goals. As we know, when we all set resolutions at the beginning of the year, and what's interesting is 50% of the time, those resolutions are broken within the first month. I saw a statistic on that recently, which I thought was crazy. That
yes.
We make these goals of, let's say, lose weight or go to the gym, and the gyms are packed in January, and then they're kind of less in February, and then by the time December comes, there's plenty of seats in the spinning class. So it's very interesting. So health coaching I really developed because I really saw the need for people to have guidance, and specifically now with healthcare changing so dramatically. We have the Affordable Care Act. We have insurance companies are charging more and more for less and less coverage and less what they do for you. And the doctors don't have as much time to spend with patients, and it's just becoming a real craziness. So I decided to say, what if we actually had regular people, not PhDs, not nutritionists, but lay people learn a program that will help them improve their health as well as improve the health of their family, and then make a business of it if they want to, and take it beyond that and go to corporations or go to your church group or your other, whatever group you have, and become a health coach and help those clients get to their goals. Because we know with a coach, it's much more feasible than if you just do it by yourself. The other thing I think that's really important right now, like you mentioned about 2016, I mean, we have a lot of people who are baby boomers, and those baby boomers want to live a nice, healthy life, and they also want a good quality life. So it's not just we want to live longer, we want to live better. And a coach, a health coach specifically, is going to help achieve those goals. And it's not just nutrition, it's fitness. It's about your sleep. How is your relationship? Now, they're not going to be counselors in the sense of therapists, but they're going to help at least point you in the right direction. And I'm going to have webinars that will help so that we do say what can a coach do and what coach cannot do. But in essence, a coach is going to help guide the client to achieve the goals that they want. And even one way they could be a coach is even go to corporations. Corporations are now getting penalized if they're not implementing like healthy habits in their employees, and they're going to have to pay penalties for that. So maybe one of the coaches would want to go to a corporation that is looking to improve the health of their workers, because the corporation then will save money too. So it's a really financially timely time to do this, and I think people are really searching for help and to guide them to live the best lives they can.
So Dr. Diana, tell me this much. You've really got me excited. Like I said, one of my good friends, he's currently taking his certification, and I hadn't really gone too much into, oh, you taking a certification on that? Oh, okay. And it's one of my buddies. He's long distance now, but we talk maybe about every other week, but we might text a couple of times per week. So tell me, it's risen 38% in the last few years. If I wanted to do that, what are some of the steps? Like, what's the protocol? Am I just able to just go online and say, hey, I want to be a health coach?
Yeah, and actually that's a great question, because there are a lot of certification programs, let's say, that aren't necessarily legitimate in the sense that you could get it like in a day. Okay, I know that when I had one person who got certified to be a Tai Chi instructor, certified in a weekend or something. So there is no real like legislation or mandates about the certification process. And that's part of the reason I made this program, because I wanted to give accurate information and also information ongoing, so that the coaches could learn ongoing and continue their educational realm and share that with their clients, and also make it based on science and fact. So when someone wants to become an Amazing Over 40 health coach, they just go to the site, Amazing Over 40, which is amazingover40.com, and at the site it says, what is health coaching? Why is it a great field now to enter? And we covered a few of those points. It also goes into what does the certification program entail in the sense of what you receive. And you receive the Success Guide, which is a 3-part series about health coaching. And that's where I go over the first part is, why do you want to be a health coach? What is your desire for income? What is your goal? What are some of the obstacles that you might encounter? So it's a very personal development type of the first part, as well as what are your goals and achievement financially and emotionally and basically in your whole life. So I have a thing called the Wheel of Life that I share with my clients, and the coaches will do the Wheel of Life where they assess their lives literally in all different areas, like finances, their home environment, how do they feel about their relationship, how are things going with their health. And I have 8 different fields, and that's where I have the coaches then go to the clients and do those worksheets with the clients, so that they have experienced that themselves, and now they're going to be helping others and looking at their life from a holistic standpoint, because it's all related. We can't just take one part and say, oh, this is totally separate. And, if you're not sleeping well, you can't lose weight. You're not going to be eating healthy if you don't go to the market and buy good food. So I even have like a worksheet about cleaning out your kitchen and then going to the market with your client and buying organic, and what things should be organic, what things shouldn't be organic. And what's so great about this, Ted, is as I get so passionate, is that it is something that's so feasible. If we made just small changes in our lives, it could, meaning eat slightly healthier, exercise a little bit, get better sleep, reduce your stress. It's amazing how we could actually change the health of ourselves, our families, and truly the whole United States. And I sometimes think, God, that's such a global thought, but that's really my goal, is to make this a grassroots approach so that people can start taking better care of themselves, because our healthcare system is not achieving that.
Dr. Diana, I have to ask you a really silly question. I don't feel bad about it either. So, hey, I'm going to ask this question, and please, don't make me feel that bad. So when some people say life coach and some people say health coach, are they talking about is it the same topic, or is there, are we looking at something else?
Yeah, actually, that's a really good question. It's not silly at all. And sometimes some terms can be thrown around. When I look at what I say health coaching, it is a life coaching in the sense of we're changing their lives. Some of the life coaches don't get that much of nutrition and health in their programs, and some do. So I would call my health coaching like a holistic health coaching, where we really implement the whole lifestyle changes. So you can pretty much use them interchangeably. Some programs might have specific things that life coaches will focus on, like business. Some people go to a life coach to achieve, they want to, I once had a life coach where I really wanted her to help me with my business and what I wanted to do. But we didn't talk about nutrition. We didn't talk about what to buy at the market. We didn't talk about health and sleep and basically all the things that happen daily, in the sense of we really just focused on how do I achieve my business goals. So most health coaches will focus on the nutrition, exercise, sleep, all the things that go into health, but it obviously encapsulates the whole life. That's where the wheel of life comes in. So it's a great question, Ted. I would never say anything bad about that.
I feel like I said, I feel so much smarter that I had the guts to ask that question, and maybe in 2015 I might not have asked you that question. I would have probably sent you a follow-up email saying, "Hey, I didn't want to sound like a
Well, I think
dummy."
It's a great question, because a lot of people are it is confusing, and a lot of times life coaches will focus on certain things in life, not just the whole, but they're focused on your main goal is to get a better relationship, let's say. So there's relationship coaches, right, who are life coaches, but they specialize in relationships. So it's a great question, and I think just to clarify to all the listeners, my health coaching program is really a holistic lifestyle program. So that is, we're focusing on nutrition, exercise, stress reduction, all the things I talked about, because all of those are intertwined, and that's why I think this is such a phenomenal program.
Dr. Diane, is there a certain set of weeks that someone would attend, let's say, one of your courses? Is there a start and stop period,
yes,
or is it kind of like ongoing?
Right. Well, it's both. So when they go online to the Amazing Over 40 site, they see all the things that they get, and there's also a section called Frequently Asked Questions, which is a really good section that will answer a lot of basic questions, such as like what you've asked already, because they come up and it's really, you want those answered before you sign up for something. So once they feel like they want to go for it and do it, which I hope people will, then they get registered, and there's different ways to pay. There's a one-time payment of $8.99, and I made it affordable because I wanted people to do this. I didn't want to make it $6,000-$7,000, because that would limit the number of people that could do this. The whole goal was to improve the health of people. So I made it a price that was very affordable. But if you want to do payments, because that's just too much to put out at one time, it'll be 3 payments of $333, so a total of $9.99. And if you do upfront one payment, you get all the materials, the success guide, you get my 40-day challenge, which is really helping with weight loss, all the worksheets that I mentioned. There are 35 worksheets. And then you also get a listing on the Health Coach Locator on the website. So you will have a little position on the site so that when people go to Amazing Over 40, they can put in a zip code, and that will then find that coach. And that coach will have a profile, which is, I think, a really cool thing. The other thing is the ongoing. So that's a self-paced program. So if you want to do it in 3 months, you can do 3 months. You can do 6 months. You could do it if you wanted to buy it all at one time and do it over 6 weeks, really power through it. You could. I would suggest taking more time, because I think the first part really takes some introspection, and I want people to be the best coaches they can be. So you could do 3 months. You could make it into, it's really self-paced. It's whatever way you want to do it. And then after you complete the whole program, there will be a quiz, and you pass the quiz. And then after that, you get your health coach certification. Then after that, you're going to be able to listen to webinars even while you're on the program. You're going to have webinars once a month that I'm going to lead I will be talking with certain guests about certain things, their specific expertise. I will also be giving health tips and business tips out. So it's an ongoing education, which I think is really valuable because you don't want to just go to a program and then you're done. You want to be able to still have the information being given to you that you can then share with your clients and your family and your friends so that you are building up more and more of your basically educational reserve and feel more confident and feel like, God, this is a really great program because I'm getting more and more value as time goes on.
That's perfect. So I guess my next question is, and it's probably in the FAQs, so I'll let you ask the next question. What is the most popular question that you usually ask for someone that's like a newbie who's just getting interested in health coaching?
I think the first one is, it's really how am I getting clients? Because a lot of programs will teach you facts and give you information, but they don't really teach you how to get clients. And that's in my third part of the program. I actually go over that, and we talk about social media. We talk about doing events at different places. I mean, different ways you can market yourself so that if you want this to be a thriving business for you, you can do that. I sometimes get the question is, well, what if I want to take the program, but I don't necessarily want to make a business out of it? You know, they want to learn.
Right.
There's a lot of people who
Right.
want just the information because they don't
Correct.
get it from their physician, let's say, about nutrition, right? Some basic stuff that what are we learning now that is what we can implement today in our kitchen with our families to get things, basically everyone thriving, right? And that's where this is another option for people, that it could be just something that you get for your own edification. You're going to be taking better care of yourself because you understand what are things that need to be bought organic, what doesn't need to be bought organic, what is GMO, you know, all these things that we get like in the paper you read and you're like, well, what am I supposed to do with this stuff? And so you're going to get the advice and recommendations from a physician about that. And so I think it's really a unique program in that sense also.
Dr. Diana, I want to thank you for taking the time out this evening. You didn't have to. We could have did this. It could have been a recorded podcast, but I want to thank you for coming on live, answering both some of my silly questions and some of my smart questions because these are some smart questions. These are the smart questions were from our listeners that had sent me text messages or direct messages on Twitter on what to ask you. And some of the silly questions were from me. But no, they were all smart. So I definitely, before you leave, via social media, the best ways to get in contact with you with your foundation. I know you're appearing all over the place. So you can also add Dr. Oz. Not only Dr. Oz, you can also add Late Night Parents to your portfolio now. So I know you're really proud about that.
Cool. I'll definitely do that.
What are the best ways to get in contact with you? And if people want to learn more about your foundation, Amazing Over 40, how do they get in contact? I mean, what do they do? Plug your website.
I would first recommend go to the website so they can kind of get a feel about what is this program, would they be interested in doing it, and then go to the frequently asked questions. But if they look at the website, it really has a nice flow with the story of why I started the program, why is health coaching such a great field now, kind of what we covered in our call today, but in much more detail. And then if they wanted to contact me, there's actually an email address there that they can go to, and that will then go to my email. So it's a separate, it's kind of like a business email that goes to my personal email, and I will definitely get back to them about their questions or anything else. But the AmazingOver40.com site is where the really starting point is, so they can start rocking and rolling for 2016.
Anything on Facebook or Tumblr or anything like that?
Oh, I do have an Amazing Over. Yeah, I'm sorry. I do have Amazing Over 40 Facebook page. I apologize. I was just focusing on, the site. I do have a Facebook, and I think I have a Twitter account also. I can actually go to the site right now and tell you what all I'm on there in social media. I know I have Facebook, Twitter. I'm getting there at the very end of the page on that site. I post the fan page. So, Facebook, Twitter are definitely going. And Instagram I haven't yet done with Amazing Over 40, but Facebook and Twitter.
Okay, great. I will. So what I'm going to do is with your podcast, well, with your segment of the podcast, I'll make it. You'll have your own separate slot. We'll put it on our website. We'll share it with the PR team. Definitely, we have the best PR team in the world. I just want to say that much.
Cool. Good.
Our good friends at newsandexperts.com. Tony, she does a great job. Definitely will thank her in an email tomorrow. Want to give you a round of applause. Dr. Diana, this is the first time that you're on. Definitely won't be the last. Want to definitely stay in touch with you. You also forgot to mention your YouTube page, which is great. Wonderful short snips of, the videos that you have on there. It's really great, easy to watch, easy to learn, and you're doing a fantastic job. And I just want to thank you for coming on the show.
Well, I appreciate that. It means a lot. I appreciate that. And thank you for taking the time and going over health coaching, because I think it's a great, great field for a lot of your listeners who want to pursue it.
Thanks so much, okay?
Okay, you have a good night. Thanks so much. Take care, Ted.
You too. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
And that was Dr. Diana Hoppe from AmazingOver40.com. A health coaching certification program for women. You name it, Dr. Diana has done it. Frequent guest on a number of TV shows. Of course, Dr. Oz, and as I mentioned a few minutes ago, she's going to add Late Night Parents to